Welcome to the 7th Annual Civic Service Awards ceremony, sponsored by the Cupertino City Council. I'm Donna Cray, Public Information Officer for the city. And as you know, today in this world we have both givers and takers. Tonight we're here to honor some of the givers. We have 14 individuals and we have 2 groups of individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the city of Cupertino. We salute these people for their work in 6 different fields: business, community service, cultural arts, recreation, education, volunteerism. Before we begin the proceedings tonight, I'd like to say a special word of thanks to the 16 recipients on behalf of all city employees who work for Cupertino. It's because of you and because of volunteers like you that the city of Cupertino is able to offer so much to the people who live here, the senior citizens, the working parents, the school children, everyone in here. And this makes the city look good. It feels good and it helps us do our jobs a lot better. So from 100 city employees, some of whom are here tonight, I say a special thank you very much. I'd also like to say thank you to Tandem Computers, who for the 2nd year in a row has allowed us to use one of their beautiful facilities. Representing Tandem tonight, we have John Boyce. I know he's here somewhere in the audience. If you'd like to stand. Oh, there he is. And Mr. Frank Robinson also is here tonight. And he's right there in the corner. Tandem has thoughtfully equipped this room for video casting, and we're taking full advantage of that. If you've noticed tonight, we have our Channel 53 crew cable casting at this very moment. The ceremony will be broadcast throughout the year on a regular basis, so tune into Channel 53 if you have United Cable. United Cable, by the way, has donated the use of their mobile van, which is outside, and that, in large part, is thanks to Joe Wilcox, who's here representing United Cable. Joe, he's back there. Before I turn this over to the mayor, I just have a couple of simple instructions for the recipients. You'll notice the black X on the floor here. As you come up to receive your award, please try and stand on the X. Our cameras are positioned in very strategic places, so we need to have you on the X. And when you receive your award, if you wouldn't mind walking back to the back of the room where you can have your picture taken with the mayor, you'll receive that picture in a few weeks. All right, now I'd like to introduce you to John Plengy, Mayor of Cupertino.
Thank you very much, Donna. And I want to wish a warm welcome to all of you and to those whom we are honoring tonight. And a special thank you also to Tandem again for providing the facilities for us. I also want to give reassurance to the people in the audience. Although the program says address from the mayor, even I panicked when I saw that. Believe me, it's not going to be any long address. But I guess I would want to say a few things and open with something that I know some of my fellow council members have heard before, and just kind of paraphrasing the oath that was taken by Athenian citizens on how they would be loyal to their city and do the various things. And it finally ends, and I am paraphrasing here, with the statement that they would take this commitment as a sacred trust so that they could pass on the city more beautiful, more secure, and much better than it had been given to them. And I think that goes back to ancient Athens, but tonight we see the results of that same commitment. The people whom we are honoring tonight, as Donna said, have done so much, not only for the city of Cupertino directly and helping, but just for people in our community and people everywhere. And so it's with really a great honor and great humility that we present these awards tonight. We stand somewhat in awe of you people and your commitment, your time, your caring, and your giving. And it's reflected in these awards, your selection, And I guess I would have to say, what we give you tonight is just a brief token of our appreciation. And what we will be presenting, just for the benefit of the audience, we do have a proclamation for each of the recipients, and then also we have a bronzed medallion which has the recipient's name on it and distinguished service. And it is, as I said, just a small token of our appreciation. And I know the thanks of many people go with this, and the people whom you serve and give so many hours to day in and day out. So with that now, I would like to begin the awards with the volunteerism category. And this particular category has 4 recipients. And I think we're ready to roll the camera with the screen, and you'll watch the first one.
I belong to a service and educational sorority, and we raise money for St. Jude's Hospital, Easter Seals, Guide Dogs for the Blind. That is a particular philanthropic project of my chapters, because I take the cans from the store and the money goes to Guide Dogs for the Blind.
And our first recipient is Polly Gilbert. Polly, if you would come forward, please. You'll stand there. I'll be right over there in a second, but I want to say a few words about you're doing well standing on the X there. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. I think what's significant here, and we're going to see this in a number of the recipients, that we have people who work in our business community too, who contribute to our community. And as was mentioned, Polly mentioned the store. She happens to be at J.C. Penney's here in Cupertino. She serves as president of Epsilon Sigma International, active member for 14 years in support of the efforts to aid blind and disabled children. She's been a phenomenal fundraiser. I read over some of the information that was submitted, and they said, you want a benefit, call Polly, she'll collect at the drop of a hat. And she has done. She's been honored by the Danny Thomas Foundation, the James Cash Penny Award for Outstanding Community Service. She's volunteered at the Country Festival, the Oktoberfest, as she said, Guide Dogs for the Blind. And so it is with great pleasure that I present this award on behalf of the City of Cupertino to Polly Gilbert. And I think we're ready for our second recipient.
What I get out of volunteering is just a warm feeling inside, and it's sort of a part of your life. Without it, I think something is missing. You feel, if you miss an event, that you forgot to do something, and just getting involved with the people, meeting them, and having the friendships that you accumulate through the years, knowing these people that are actually doing the same thing that I am.
Our second recipient, Phyllis Ishida. Phyllis? I should also perhaps have said Dr. Phyllis Ishida, because Phyllis is a dentist with a practice here in Cupertino. She's donated her time and talents to help others, provided dental care for children, orphans in Mexico, coordinated Children's Dental Health Month, given Career Day lectures, provided free dental health care to Cupertino youth at a local health fair. Besides donating countless hours also as a member of the Quota Club in various philanthropic activities, and I think what's a really great thing is she helps supervise the breakfast program for children at Garden Gate School in the morning. So she's up bright and early, while some of us perhaps are resting a bit, and she's there supervising the kids and are probably also checking if they brushed properly. Is that, no. So again, Phyllis, on behalf of the City of Cupertino, Congratulations. And our third recipient.
Well, I got into volunteerism because, well, wherever I've lived, I've wanted to make my community better for me. And the only way I could make my community better for me was to make it better for everybody. And so it's sort of selfish purposes. But I've been volunteering since I was 15, almost the whole time, with a few years off for good behavior. And I guess it's something that's inner-driven. Some of us have to volunteer. Some of us have to keep busy doing something.
Third recipient, Betty Mann. For more than a number of years, she said she started when she was 15, so for about 5 or 10 years now, she has devoted untold time, as was mentioned, volunteer work in civic, educational, political organizations, every community where she has lived. In the city of Cupertino, she has been a member and chairperson of many committees, including the Energy Commission, the ASAC Committee. She had formerly, when we had a Water Commission, she had been on there. She's been co-chairperson for the League of Women Voters in several California cities, and she continues to work with the League with many projects benefiting the Cupertino community. And so when you're looking for a volunteer and activity, you will find Betty Mann very definitely there. So congratulations, Betty, on behalf of the city of Cupertino. And our fourth recipient.
Well, I'm a volunteer and I work in the library as a volunteer, a member of Friends of the Cupertino Library. And the main activity that I'm involved with is working around the used book sales. We take in books that are donated by the public. We sort them in various categories. And we have 3 sales each year. The sales are held in the community room downstairs in the library.
Our fourth recipient, Curtis Woodruff. Curtis? It's kind of interesting reading over the nomination papers for Curtis because they started off by saying something like, you've probably heard of Lois Woodruff and Friends of the Library, his wife and what she's done, but what a lot of people don't realize is Curtis has been there the whole time doing quite a bit of work himself. And the people who nominated said it's about time he gets recognized as well. And it certainly is something for which he deserves recognition. He's been in the area, a resident since 1952, began volunteering in the community more than 20 years ago, and he still had a job. He retired a little while ago, and since that retirement, he has volunteered daily with the Friends of the Cupertino Library. One of the things they will see him in the library daily, checking on donations that may have been made for the Friends of the Library, sorting out the books, and seeing which ones might go on the library shelves, possibly others to be available for the book sale. And he's continued to collect and sort those donations. During the 2 years the library was closed for remodeling. I don't dare ask how you survived all of that because there wasn't room to store things. And he served as a tour guide for the grand opening, continued to organize book sales, support local reading programs, and in addition, he also arranged, and I think this is kind of neat too, that we have the holiday basket program through Cupertino Community Services, and he arranged to make sure that each basket also contained a book as well. So for many, many hours of service and hard work and dedication, Curtis, on behalf of the city of Cupertino, congratulations.
Some people say the press goes too far sometimes.
Sorry, I don't think it's appropriate to comment at this time.
Had they stopped here, you may never have known about Watergate.
No comment. Please, no comment.
Or here. You may never have known if an issue concerned you.
The committee approved all.
Now you say the committee was involved, sir?
No.
To protect your right to be informed,
I have nothing more to say.
how far should the press go? To learn more about the Free Press, contact the First Amendment Center.
Just a fraction of what we spend dining out could help pick up the tab for a good cause. A small part of what we spend on sports could help keep our community in shape. Or some of our time on the phone could help answer society's problems. Won't you get involved? By giving 5% of your income and volunteering 5 hours per week, you can really help your community. This year, make it your goal to give 5. What you get back is immeasurable.
Thank you, John. I'm privileged to introduce the category of community service, a term that speaks for itself, really. There are 4 people and groups to be honored. 2 are groups and 2 are individuals. And I think we're ready for the first, please.
Well, we not only have, I think, a great camaraderie and a lot of fun doing this, we really enjoy it, but I think the smiles, the toe tapping, the things that the patients do, the people that we go to visit, the shut-ins at the rest homes and the convalescent hospitals, the veterans, all the different places that we perform, they so enjoy having us there. We visit with them. They're just so happy to see us. They keep asking us to come back, and that really makes us feel good. We don't always feel we sing as well as we should, but we really enjoy what we do, and they seem to enjoy it, so that's why we do it.
The Chordettes, please. The Chordettes are a group of 12 ladies and a former professional pianist who are members of the Cupertino Federated Women's Club, a service group in the community whom we've honored before. The Chordettes were formed 3 years ago to have fun with music and to perform a service by singing at nursing homes and retirement villages in the community. These ladies have purchased a keyboard from their $1 a month dues for use when no piano is available. Their programs include travel tour through America, Western music, Irish programs, and Christmas programs, and they are now rehearsing music about places and countries around the world. The Chordettes sing once a month and have performed at Sunnyview Manor, Pleasant View, Driftwood, Westgate Villa, Sunnyvale Retirement, Idlewild, St. Jude's Daycare, Veterans Very Special Festival in Menlo Park in Palo Alto, and a Christmas program at the Locked facility at Veterans Menlo Park. They have entertained at the Federated Women's Club meetings and district conventions. Some Chordettes helped to host the graduating ceremonies of the special education class last June. The Chordettes have provided many people in the community with pleasure and memories. And receiving the award tonight is Fran Kennedy, the current club president. And our second recipient.
Well, I think the members of the Lions Club, and I think service clubs in general, are motivated by a desire to do something for someone else. That's what it's all about, providing service to people who are less fortunate than we are. That's what we strive to do, and I think we do a pretty good job of that.
Isn't he great?
The Cupertino Host Lions Club. The Cupertino Host Lions Club is one of the most active service clubs in Santa Clara County. Did you know that? In fact, many other civic, charitable, and educational organizations depend upon the support they get from Cupertino Host Lions. In 1951, when we were still a small crossroads village surrounded by orchards, and 4 years before the city was incorporated, a few far-sighted men in the community felt a service club was needed to help in the community's growth and to be interested in youth and their welfare. Chartered by Lions International in 1951, Cupertino Lions Club was the first service club in Cupertino. 18 years later, in 1969, they sponsored or hosted the De Anza Lions Club and thus became Cupertino Host Lions Club. Today, Cupertino Host Lions are 53 members strong and raised $44,000 last year to help various civic, charitable, and youth programs. They were major contributors to the Santa Clara Valley Blind Center, Books Aloud, which is a variety audio, Lions Eye Foundation, diabetes screening, guide dogs for the blind, high school scholarships and awards, including the Gary Bianchini Memorial Wrestling Tournament at Cupertino High School, Santa Clara County Crippled Children's Society and Camp Costanoan in Cupertino, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, youth athletic teams, and the Special Olympics. They contributed over $19,000 to assist in the purchase of a mobile health screening unit used in diagnosing sight, hearing, and diabetes problems. Other local organizations they have helped include Hope Rehabilitation, Holiday Food Baskets, Our Daily Bread, De Anza College's Handicapped Rehabilitation Program, and El Camino Hospital's dialysis program. They provide food for the homeless, glasses for children, and hearing aids and other programs for the hearing impaired on a continuing basis. One of 3 unique programs provided by Cupertino Host Lions is the annual Fish-a-thon. You saw a little bit of that, which gives 75 to 100 blind and disabled children a chance to catch fish and have them cleaned to take home. And I can tell you from personal experience that watching some of these children fish for the first time is really heartwarming. This takes place in April or May with the cooperation of Dave Voss, who prepares a holding pond near his quarry, and Fish and Game, which stocks it with about 1,000 trout. The Lions provide the organization, fishing gear and bait, and people to help in fishing, cleaning and packing the catch and ice, and preparing and serving a barbecue lunch to everyone before they are sent home, each with his or her limit of fish to take home for a family meal. A second unique program is Lions Flag Day, which has taken on national proportions. Each February, Cupertino Host Lions provides small American flags and informational material to other Lions clubs for distribution to area elementary school children. One local school is taken as a pilot school, and a special program on that flag is given at an assembly. From its Cupertino beginnings, the program has mushroomed to include over 550 Lions clubs in California and Nevada, and 175 clubs in other states. Altogether, more than 2,250,000 flags have been presented to children across the country since the inception of the program. Cupertino Host Lions' third unique program is Flags for New Citizens. For 2 years, area Lions clubs rotate monthly to attend the swearing-in ceremonies at the Federal District Court to distribute flags to new citizens in an effort to make them feel welcome in their new home. I can personally attest to how much they're appreciated because I've had occasion to attend several times. Cupertino Host Lions raises a major portion of the funds to support their youth and welfare donations through 2 barbecues, the Wild Game Feed and their Chicken, Corn, and Sausage Feed. Cupertino Host Lions expert cooks have also taken their culinary skills to help out in other community civic activities. Cupertino Community Services Barbecue, a food booth at the city's July 4th celebration, and the barbecue hosted by the city for visitors from Japan. Are you overwhelmed too? To accept the award is Phil Cox, the immediate past president of Cupertino Host Lions. And our third recipient.
I'll continue to help all I can, and it's been most interesting working not only with the equipment, the installation of the station, and so on, but I've met many people that have become very close friends to me through this activity. And if it hadn't been for that, I probably would have just been a potato couch there in the community, because of lack of interest in activity.
Our third recipient is Ken Stevens. Ken Stevens is one of the exceptionally outstanding volunteers in the CARES, which stands for Cupertino Amateur Radio Emergency Service organization. He has given outstanding effort on behalf of the CARES group for the last 3 years. He has worked to install radio equipment at City Hall for emergency broadcast programs, helped plan the amateur radio facility, and maintain the vitality and readiness of the CARES group. Ken is a retired tool and die maker and an amateur radio operator, of course. A quiet and ready volunteer, Ken is always available to help, and he plays a vital role in one of the most important programs offered by the city, emergency preparedness. Ken Stevens. And our fourth recipient?
Cupertino being a small community, as cities go, I feel that it's important that the citizens get involved with the city government and the services to the community. And second, fellowship and friendship with my neighbors. Often it's difficult in our very busy fast-paced lives that we lead, business and home. We don't get out and meet our neighbors, and this is a way to not only get out and meet my neighbors, but to work with them and develop a sense of community.
And our fourth recipient tonight, Skip Stevens. And Ken, it's really an honor for you too, because Skip, your son, certainly reflects credit upon you. We thank you both very much. Richard Skip Stevens reflects what he learned from his father. And for the last 4 years, Skip has built and breathed life into Cupertino Amateur Radio Services, CARES, which provides a reliable communication network under every and all conditions. He has worked closely with city officials so that CARES is an integral part of of the city's emergency planning. Skip has spent endless hours providing leadership and organization to this group. He writes the newsletter, he designs the exercises, he seeks opportunities to participate, providing communications and monitoring for parades, races, 4th of July, and so forth. He speaks to members by radio and provides equipment analysis and budget proposals. It is very difficult to keep volunteers interested and accountable, requiring enormous energy and effort, and Skip has done it. As president of CARES, Skip organized monthly meetings, countywide school and city exercises, and activated a weekly network. He has brought credibility and reliability to CARES. On a personal note, Skip is an engineer with ESL and is the father of 3 daughters. In sum, all citizens in Cupertino are safer because there is a CARES, and there wouldn't be a CARES without Skip. This father and son team is largely responsible for Cupertino's successful preparedness program. Skip Stevens. And now I'm privileged to introduce to you John Gatto.
Good evening. This is truly one of the really pleasurable events of being on a council and having the ability to share the enthusiasm and the spirit of this community with the neighborhood. If you look around the room, you'll see your friends and neighbors that are here this evening to share this moment and honor you. If you look at your program on the back, the award program has been in there, instituted since 1983, and you're in very good company if you look at the list of names that are there. I'm here to introduce a couple of categories. The first one would be business. And the categories that you've heard before and the categories I'll be introducing exemplify the breadth and depth of the volunteer program, the volunteer efforts in this community. I think what we're seeing tonight is just the top of the iceberg. There are a number of people who devote endless amount of hours and time throughout this community to make it the great community that it is. And it's really a pleasure to do that. The business community is an integral total operation in this community. With the Chamber of Commerce and its support and the business community in general, they form an integral part of our community. And it's a real pleasure to be able to introduce and award the recognition to those members that are here this evening. So without any further ado, we'll start the business section. There are 3 recipients this evening.
Well, most of the programs that I'm volunteer to become involved in are in the nature of community activities through the Chamber of Commerce, or some of them are through the city and some through the De Anza College. And I think I enjoy, probably more than anything, teaching the people that I'm involved with things about the community that they might not otherwise learn, and also to enable them to be better citizens by being better informed about the way government works, perhaps the way business works, and to some degree in the areas that I practice law in, for example, in the employment area.
First recipient is Rich Abdalah. Rich. On the X, there we go. It's nice to be able to tell an attorney what to do once in a while. I have to mention that Rich is one of the premier law firms in the community. I'm not going to mention all names, but usually do that. Jackson told me to say that.
He went home tonight.
Yeah. Rich, as you saw on the film clip, is one of his primary activities within the city is Leadership Cupertino. This is a program wherein citizens are tried to be involved, to learn about the city functions. They get a chance to see the various other activities that the city partakes, some of the other local districts, the other elected boards, other governing boards within the county. And through this, they achieve a broader understanding of what's happening within the community. Rich also is a board of directors member of the YMCA. The Y is an active part of our community, is in the process of going through an expansion, and has nothing but a great program going over there. And I know, Rich, that you're really proud of that activity. Also has been an active volunteer for the country, I want to say county on that, Country Festival. And I think we just had that very successful activity there about a month ago at the town center. He's also writes a letter for the commerce or the business community, the high cost of hiring and firing, which I'm sure has some activity to that. So without further ado, Rich, congratulations. Next recipient, please.
As you know, the large part of my time has been devoted to an organization called Junior Achievement, which is in the business of educating kids, primarily with economic education, because there's a large belief that the system that we operate under in the United States is a great one, economic system that is, and yet without the proper understanding of how it works, it's very difficult to take advantage of all of the pieces that are there for our advantage.
Jim Bright. Well, I think the film clip said it pretty well. The Junior Achievement Program that is available to the students in our high schools is a tremendous one. And Jim, you really be complimented on the effort that does that. I know I've had an opportunity to deal with several of those programs, and it's amazing to watch these young people as they get immersed in the commerce of our society. I mean, the minute they realize they can make $1, you won't believe the interest they take in what they're doing. And so as I see here, it's touched something like 12,000 students, and that's a tremendous number of people that have worked on that. And you're also working on a program for at-risk students in the junior high schools. That's very good. Jim, congratulations. And since this is a business group, we'll have to put a plug in. If you need a loan, see Jim. Next recipient, please.
The city of Cupertino, the people who live here, have supported me in my business, and I have just feel a need to give back to the community that I serve. I think there's no greater calling that a person can have than to serve the people that serve him. And so, for that reason, I just feel compelled to help the people in Cupertino. They help me. I just think it's the greatest privilege that a person can have, is to serve the people that he loves.
Last recipient. Last recipient of this group is Gary Mashtare. Gary has worked with the Rotary Club of Cupertino and has volunteered his time in many activities. I know one that enjoyed not too long ago was the celebrity waiters at the Leukemia Society over at the Sports City. Thank you. I'm drawing a blank on that. And that was quite an interesting activity. He has also been involved in the Cupertino Chamber Country Festival. I'll get it right this time. And the Big Brother Sister Program, the Sunnyvale Christian Center, and the County Board Homeowners Association. Gary, we thank you for all your efforts for the community, and I'll put a plug in for your business too. The next category, which I have the pleasure of introducing, has just one recipient, and we'll soon have that person identified. But education plays a tremendous part in our community. I think that we are very proud of the educational efforts, and I know that the recipient will be the first to tell you that he doesn't do it alone. He does it with the rest of his board, and we are very proud of the Cupertino educational system, and it is one of the things that is known throughout the county and throughout the state as one of the premier educational forces. And because of that, we're pleased to honor our next recipient.
Education, okay, is a basic it's an opportunity. The key opportunity in America is good, basic, sound education. There's so much opportunity in America. If a good education, okay, the door will open up to you. And also, I feel like education is a very vital part of the whole, not just the community structure, the excellence in community, and also the whole nation depend on it.
Tommy Shwe. Thank you. We should introduce you. Tommy, as we have sort of alluded to in the introduction, sits on the Cupertino School Board, the what's it called? The Board of no, it's the elementary school. What's the name of your school board? Cupertino Union School Board. I always get that one mixed up. And I'm sorry about that. But Tommy has done a great job on there, along with the rest of his members on the school board. And Tom has taken a very active interest in a number of programs in the school district, primarily the ones dealing with the Chinese student. And he one time was the originator of the Silicon Valley Chinese School and has been the board of the Northern California Chinese Schools Association and has been very active in our own school system in introducing the bilingual and the multilingual activities that are necessary to do that. So Tommy, we thank you very much for your service. We're a pleasure to award you this recognition this evening.
Happy holidays. I mean healthy holidays.
Aunt Sherry, this is for Aunt
Tom and I
Sherry.
are chairman of the Christmas Seal campaign for the American Lung Association.
Uncle Dick and Aunt Winnie.
And we're using Christmas seals on all our gifts and cards. Because using Christmas seals not only helps fight lung disease...
For Bob and Billy.
Yes, Tom. It also helps keep our air clean, too. So use Christmas seals from the American Lung Association every single way you can.
Guess who this is for?
They even help keep brothers quiet.
This is for you.
Oh.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas Seal people.
This holiday season, AHA's nonprofit homes and services for the elderly, the communities that care, ask you to remember older friends. We're never too old to smile, to touch, to love. How will you make the holidays sparkle for an old friend this holiday season? Can you make that sparkle last all year?
Tonight, I have the privilege of honoring two for the category of recreation.
I just enjoy doing this down here for them, for people like Diane and Linda. They've got enough to do, and it's up to the volunteers to do these things. And we need some more volunteers. I don't mind doing it, but sometimes my wife gets a little upset. Sometimes she thinks I'm doing too much. But when I feel that I've just about gone the limit, then I don't do any more for a few days.
Don Colley. Don Colley is one of our fine Parks and Recreations employees, and he is truly an asset to the Senior Center. Don's work for pay and volunteering meld together. In both, he balances what is important for the Senior Center and Parks and Recreation Department without sacrificing sensitive and appropriate care of the public. Don works with a twinkle in his eye and does everything from mopping the floor to helping a newcomer. Don is a longtime Cupertinan, and his generosity is shared by his wife, Georgia. We feel very fortunate to have you on our staff, as well as volunteering. Congratulations to you. And our second recipient in recreation.
Well, there's so many dynamic pressures in Silicon Valley with the cost of housing, the job pressure, just the educational level here, that the kids and the people need a vent. And recreation is an excellent vent, and it's a very positive environment. Instead of drugs and all this other baloney, steer them in the right direction. And I believe it's recreation.
Wally Dean. Wally Dean is a member of our Parks and Recreation Commission. Wally has been very active with youth sports in Cupertino as well as all athletic events. He organized the first Battle of the Bands, as well as both the basketball exhibition and the balloon rides at De Anza Days. Wally is also the producer of a local sports show, Inside Sports, which has won national recognition. Wally is a native of the Bay Area and will continue to be involved in here in activities in Cupertino. Congratulations to you, Wally. The next category that I'm presenting an award on is the cultural arts, and we have two recipients for that tonight. The first one.
The excitement that the kids have and the enthusiasm they have and the ability to work together. It's like one big family. They've started out in the 4th and 5th grade and have continued through the high school program, so they all know each other and they're dedicated to each other and they work towards one common goal. So they help each other out, hang around the band room all day at lunchtime and brunch and so forth, so they really enjoy being with each other.
Robert Gomez. Mr. Gomez has spent 22 years as band and orchestra director. He has devoted countless hours of personal time to his students and has served as an inspiration to many young people in Cupertino. He was the founder and continues to be the director of the Tournament of Bands Parade, which, by the way, is Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Stevens Creek Boulevard. Little plug there. Over the years, he and his bands have performed in concerts for Presidents Reagan, Ford, and Nixon, as well as on tours in Europe, Hawaii, Canada, and Texas. In addition, the Cupertino High Band has performed in the Rose Bowl and Cotton Bowl under his leadership. Aside from all of these accomplishments, he was truly surprised this last spring when more than 50 of his alumni had come to pay tribute by performing for him at Cupertino's annual spring concert. Quite a tribute to a talented member of our community. And our last recipient under Cultural Arts.
I get a very good sense of satisfaction of doing a good job. Our show, we deal a lot with people, more than objects, and I meet a lot of interesting people. We develop a very good rapport with most of the performers that we've had on our show, whether it be musicians, dancers, flower arranging, toy train clubs. We've done a number of different shows, and we hope to continue this in the future.
Mr. Hennington. Mr. Hennington has devoted more than 800 hours of his time volunteering to create outstanding television programs for the Community Boosters TV series. As a video editor, cameraman, and audio engineer, he travels 35 miles each way from his home to De Anza College Center to volunteer, and pays for his parking besides. He has been a member of the Community Booster Television's team for the past 3 years, doing all of this, and he has never missed a single scheduled editing or production period. His dedication to promoting individuals and organizations from our community has brought recognition and well-earned credit to these folks, groups, and organizations who otherwise would never be known to our neighbors or other communities. Congratulations.
Yo, Alf here. Apparently some chowderheads out there aren't taking care of this planet. They're messing up public lands. They're littering the beaches and vandalizing the parks. Look, folks, public lands are not like pizzas. You just can't pick up the phone and order more. So let's take care of our land. Let's save the planet. Call me and promise you'll help. I'll send you a bunch of neat stuff. It's my way of saying thanks. It's an acknowledgement of your concern. It's a bribe.
What's wrong, Vince?
My woman's done left me, my dog ran away, and people still aren't wearing their safety belts.
Aw, Vince, you singing those buckle up blues again?
Some people don't wear their seat belts. I can't believe it's true. Those kind of people get knocked right out of their shoes. So buckle up, baby. Don't sing me those buckle up blues.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I mean it, baby. Buckle, honeysuckle, buckle, yeah.
We have now reached the final portion to award the City Award. Before I do that, however, just a few more introductions. Some other people that are vital to this community who work for us and keep things running. First of all, our city manager, Mr. Don Brown, who's in back there. The assistant to the city manager, no relation, Barbara Brown. In our city, we try and keep things simple. We name as many council members and staff members Barbara and Brown. We try and get that simplified. Our Director of Community Development, Mr. Bob Cowan. and the Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Steve Dowling. And I noticed we did have one other elected official here tonight from the Cupertino Union School District Board, Elaine White. Elaine? The nominations are made for the various categories, and then a judging panel examines those. And the judging panel is really composed of a representative of each of the commissions that we have in the city. And so they select the finalist in each category, and then after they have done that, they select 2 recipients to receive the City Award. So it's at this time, we'll turn to the video again for the City Award.
We are a service organization, and we're part of a larger international organization of Lions Clubs, and our primary function is to provide service to the community, to organizations that need our help. We help the visually impaired, the hearing impaired, crippled children. We have programs for diabetes, drug awareness. Everywhere in the world, there seems to be a common denominator of a need for people that are interested in helping other people. And it's a common thread that runs across the world. And where that exists, you find people that are willing to get involved and help other people, and that's what Lionism is all about.
At this point, I'm looking to my director back there. Do we have the first one we'll have? Okay, we will present at this time the directions. I thought they were both coming up at the same time. By the way, these award winners did not know they were going to receive this award. Now they do. Make sure I get the right one here. I guess they want you over at the X again. Okay, and the City Award is an engraved tray that has from the city of Cupertino in the middle of the state, Cupertino host Lions. And now our second recipient.
I consider that I was extremely lucky because when I was married, I did not have to go to work. And yet I needed something to fill my time more than just cleaning house. Many women, many men, I'm sure, feel about the same way. And it's not doing good because I'm just not a do-gooder. But I've put all of my volunteerism really into an educational aspect. The League of Women Voters, which is educational, my UC Alumni Association, which was educational in assisting students in getting scholarships, in getting parks in other communities. I've done volunteer work all over the state of California. It's not something that I think of, what do I get out of it? I just do it because I feel better and I get to meet lots of people. And I think not just because of me, but because of millions of people like me, we can improve our community and the things around us. Volunteerism is good in areas like this because there are so many single people around. They don't know where to meet anyone. Or even young marrieds that come into town, teenagers. It gives you a way of meeting people on a very safe basis and getting something done besides. And I've had nothing but joy out of it, and it's been many, many, many years I've been in it, and I wouldn't do without it.
Betty Mann.
This is a surprise. Thank you.
What I'd like to do at this time is, first of all, let's give a big round of applause for all of our recipients tonight. Secondly, there are two other people who deserve a very vigorous round of applause, and those are the people that helped coordinate and put this entire thing together. Actually, there are more than that. First of all, we have our own television crew, Kellen Yamada and her crew, and they do a fantastic job. And for those of you who do receive the cable television, we have good news that we're working on the franchise for the other part of town that doesn't receive it. They'll receive it, we hope, by next year as the franchise is renewed. But you can see some of the good quality work they do. They've received numerous awards, and we're very proud of them, and they're doing a good job tonight. Then we also have the Secretary to the City Manager, Laura Newman, who's in back there. She and finally, the person who stays young and vigorous and manages to get through it all and does an excellent job, the person who put all of this together, our Public Information Officer, Donna Cray. Donna? One final word. I did start with a quote out of ancient Athens, and I guess I'd like to end just a few years later with a quote out of ancient Rome. And that is that we have, of course, these wonderful people who have done so many things and continue to do so. It was a phrase I learned when I was in Rome and studied there, and simply three words: ad multos annos. For many years, you have worked, and we wish you well as you continue to work for us. Thank you very much. We have refreshments next door. Thank you.